Outlet Liquor is your place to buy a case. Stock up and save when you shop the lowest prices available every day at Outlet Liquor. You never have to wait for a sale. The more you buy, the more you save. Only at Outlet Liquor.
What's your outlet?
Folks, welcome into the Trainwreck Playoff Happy Hour. We got it started off here with Degenerate Danger Zone. I'm your host, Ty B. Let's get some free money. We got Meerkat here joining me, Donnie Tentanks, and some guy named Steve. We got to get it started off, though, with Steve. He's been absolutely fire with these quick-fire baseball picks lately this week. 4-0 so far, Steve. Let's see where you're going to keep it rolling.
Two real quick ones, about the same juice for both. It's like minus 125, minus 130. First one, Dodgers at the Giants. It's Trevor Bauer night. Trevor Bauer's been incredible this year, 4-2, 2.0 ERA, 0.75 whip. And the Giants, I think, are a little, overrated. They haven't played the best teams lately, the Reds, the Pirates. The Dodgers are a different animal. Dodgers have won 4 straight. They're coming into their form. I like the Dodgers. And then another team, I'm taking the Astros, the Cheaters. Minus 125 is the line I got it at. Tyler Ivey's debut. He's the number 9 ranked prospect in their system. He's got a pretty good fastball. Seems like a good pitcher. And they're playing the Rangers, who have lost 9 of their last 10. I know Kyle Gibson's on the mound. He's been pretty good this year, but we know Kyle Gibson all too well. He always has that blow-up start every now and then. Once you begin to trust him, Astros are 8-2 in their last 10. Red-hot bats. I think you're getting a very good, fair number for both the Dodgers and the Astros tonight, which are 2 teams I think are significantly better than their opponents.
Absolutely. I like that play there with the Dodgers. And if you want to get it to plus value, might I add some parlay fodder, Valerie Lareda. If you don't know who she is, look her up. She's going to be fighting in Bellator tonight. You're going to want to follow her on Instagram. You're really going to want to, guys. Trust me on that one. Donnie, though, you said you got some baseball picks here tonight as well.
I do. I've been struggling this year in baseball, but I got to get back on track. I got to keep swinging. I'm going with the White Sox money line. I know they're away in New York, but they have been hot lately, and they have their stud Rodon on the mound. I think he's been pitching great. White Sox have been great as well. Yankees are coming off the Rangers, who weren't too much of a test. I think they're going to get tested tonight. This is a value pick too. White Sox are only minus 110, minus 112. I got to take that on that. I love the Yankees, but I'm going White Sox. Now, also in that game, I'm loving a pitching prop. I love Rodon over 7 Ks. He's averaging exactly 7. There's no hook on this. So I love that. There's so many props where you get the hook. No hook, 7 Ks, and it's even money on that. Now, I will say he's averaging 7 a game, but he's had 7 or more in every single game except the last game. There you go. And yeah,
Montgomery does suck. I was so pissed when I got that autograph.
Yeah, well, that's Rodon's. He's got like his ERA is 1 and change. Montgomery's 4 and change. So I'm taking the Rodon prop too over 7 Ks. There's only been 1 game he hasn't gotten 7 or more. It was last game against the Royals. They have some good bats over there. So also 2 on this prop, I looked at Yankees. Yankees strike out a lot. We know they're a team that swings for the fences. Yep. They're averaging 8.8 strikeouts per game. They struck out 10 times in their last game. And that was even beating the Rangers. And they're averaging over 9 strikeouts at home. So even money on that, I love it. I'm going to take the White Sox, and I'll take the Rodon strikeout prop.
Absolutely. That's a great angle there, Donnie, especially going up against Jordan Trashcan Montgomery. He's the one reason that I love to hate the Yankees even more. He's just so bad. All right.
I would bet the over as well, but I think
That's
Rodon.
If Rodon locks, if he locks it down and reverts sort of back to where he was, not his last start, then they're going to easily shut that one down in New York. But Meerkat, we got some basketball here. 1 play-in game here tonight before we get the playoffs kick-started tomorrow officially. Warriors at home, -5, hosting the Grizzlies in this one. You got Ja Morant going up against Steph Curry, who's been absolutely unbelievable lately. Wasn't enough to be able to beat LeBron, but they made it a close one there. How do you see this one playing out? Who gets the 8 seed?
So I got 2 plays on this game. I'm going to just start with this one. Breaking news, folks. Something I never do. I'm taking it under. I
Oh,
am
no.
taking an under in this Warriors Grizzlies game. Fade it because I don't. This is why I don't take totals. I lose everyone I take. I've been on a self ban for a while now, but I'm going with it tonight. Earlier, the line dropped from 222 to 221.5. Not a huge amount of movement, but when you looked at the money coming in, 36% of those under bettors made up 60% of the action. The sharps are out on this one, and they're out heavy. They smell blood in this game. And, I don't see anyone on the Warriors outside of Curry putting up a ton of points. And a stat, from when they've played this year, the Warriors have played great defense. They've matched up really well against the Grizzlies. So they've only allowed 105 points a game. They're shooting like 42% as a team against the Warriors. Just not that great. So I love the under in this one, and then bouncing over the next play. It's a parlay, but it starts out with the Warriors money line. I'm not going to take the spread. I like the spread, but I'm not going to risk it because these play-in games have been so weird so far. But the Warriors,
most of them.
Yeah, exactly. And the Warriors have been such a good team lately, though. I think they close out in this game. They have, a Curry-esque performance. You saw the one game he played against them this year. He dropped 46 points in 40 minutes. He looked incredible. Warriors won by 12. That was only 5 days ago. So, I don't know. I love the Warriors tonight. I'm biting into the juice. I won't take the spread just because how wonky these games have been. And parlaying it with the Avalanche money line, I think the Avs roll tonight. They're an absolute wagon, and that's a nice plus 115. I'll take that every day.
Absolutely. I think still no David Perron for the Blues in that one, but I'm going to give it to Donnie and Steve before we kick it over to the NHL. Any NBA plays you like in that game?
I'm taking the Warriors spread. They're the number one team in the NBA against the spread at home this year, 23-13. They won by 12. A few days ago when the Grizzlies came to them battling for that 8 seed spot. Ja can't defend Steph Curry. We saw that. Steph did what he wanted to at will. I think he scored 46 points and 9 rebounds, 7 assists. And I don't love this Grizzlies team. I think they're inexperienced, and they kind of showed that letting the Spurs back into the first play-in game. But I'm all over the Warriors -5.
Yeah, I agree with you there, Steve. I'm on the Warriors tonight too. I'm taking the spread, a little riskier. Honestly, if it was regular season, I'd probably still be upset about that loss they had with the Lakers. Up 12 in the third quarter, and it didn't happen. But yeah, I'm using it as as some parlay fodder with some other stuff. I really didn't love the NBA game tonight, but it's the only one happening, so you got to bet it, right?
Absolutely. I think this is going to be another one of those games where you get the favorite wins, but it's real close on that spread. Maybe take the Grizzlies +6, 6.5. Don't move it too much, so you maintain a lot of that value as well. But let's kick it over here to the NHL playoffs. We got 4 games here tonight. It's going to be an absolutely incredible slate. We have the Capitals and Bruins getting it kick-started here at 6:30. And the big thing in that one, all 3 games have gone to overtime. So the puck line has been absolutely irrelevant in that one. So make sure you keep that one in the back of your mind when you're trying to make picks on that. But we also have Hurricanes Predators at 7, Jets Oilers game 2. Jets had a big underdog win in that first one, and then the Avalanche Blues as the nightcap there at 9:30. Donnie, I'm going to send it to you to get it started. You've been pretty hot, especially with Don and John's picks on the NHL. Where are you looking tonight?
Yes. Well, I've been, as you know, I was riding the Capitals last time. They lost in overtime. I was riding the Capitals again, game 3, and they blow another one in the third period. A 1-goal lead late and lose in overtime. I just to talk about the Capitals, I think they're the better team, but these game by the third period, they're tired. That double overtime win, it almost looked like they were just skating to conserve their energy and trying to drag it out. Boston was all over them. But, however, I do like, every game's gone to overtime, +1.5 on the Capitals at -200. No value there, but it's some good parlay fodder. If you're me, though, I'm taking the risky bet. I'm betting the money line. Ty just said it's been irrelevant. It's been a big risk. But the Capitals are down 2-1. They need to get something going. I think they should have won at least one of the 2 last games, and they lost both. The last one too, weird goalie mix-up. The defenseman fell asleep. He was sleepwalking
Don't
back.
sleep, bitch.
Had no idea the forecheck. Kind of fluky. I think the Caps are going to come out and say, hey, we're not conserving any energy. Let's finish this in regulation. But I'll take the money line anyway because it might go to overtime. I
don't think that's a bad angle.
What's that?
I don't think that's a bad angle at all in that game because this is, it's a can't lose game. If you're Washington, you can't go down 3-1 here with another game in Boston.
Right. That's what I'm thinking, and I've just seen them, and I'm confident. I haven't lost faith in the Caps yet. Moving on to, I'm going to touch the Oilers. Big upset with Winnipeg taking game 1. Helbjörk just played outstanding, but Edmonton, they really sleptwalked through the first period. Only got about 6 shots. Then they turned it up, started getting pressure. I think they're going to look to come out firing. I think McDavid and Drysdale in particular are just going to come out in the first period. I'm taking Edmonton Oilers first period puck line at -0.5. That is plus 140 value. I think they can go up 1-0 in the first. There's not much value on the puck line other than that. I don't love a -175. So I'm going to take the first period puck line on that. And then Colorado Avalanche -1.5 at plus 115. How can you not? It almost seems like if they're up 1, they're going to win by 2 or 3 because St. Louis is going to pull the goalie. They can't even keep up with 6 guys on the ice, and they'll just get 2 more empty netters. So quick recap: Caps money line, Oilers first period, and first period puck line, and Colorado puck line as well.
Yeah, looking at that Jets-Oilers game, that's going to be a very interesting one. Like you said, a big performance out of Connor Hellebuyck. They got outshot on the night by a considerable margin, and you got to believe that Connor McDavid's going to figure things out. He's the best player in the world for a reason. I think we're going to see him get some points. He averaged over 2.2 points per game against Winnipeg during the regular season. I think we're going to see some more of that. Draisaitl got moved down to center that second line with Nugent Hopkins, so they're trying to spread out the scoring a little bit. I think that's going to help them in this one. And like you said about these empty netting goals, we've been seeing a lot of them. Winnipeg got 2 of them the other night. I'm banking on Edmonton to get a few empty netters tonight as well. I'm going to take that puck line. -1.5 is plus 150. I think that's just too juicy not to take. Meerkat, what are you targeting first here in the NHL?
I'm bouncing right off of you and Don. I mean, I'm taking the Oilers regulation money line. It's -106 right now. I just think they get it done tonight. You guys brought up a ton of stuff already, but, McDavid didn't score last game. How many times has he gone 2 straight games scoreless this year? Just once. It's not going to happen again. This Oilers team throttled Winnipeg during the regular season. I mean, in the April series, I think they outscored them 12-2 and went 3-0. They're just going to get it done tonight. In that first game, people might look at the final score and overreact if they didn't watch the game, but it was 2 empty net goals. It was a very close game. McDavid and Draisaitl, like you said, need to be spread out a bit because they were able to crowd them a bit, it seemed, but I think they crushed tonight. I'm probably going to take that -1.5 as well, but I love those regulation money lines.
Meerkat, I love that point because when you have both of them out there on the ice at the same time, all you have to worry about is shutting down one line. Whereas, you can bring Draisaitl out now after McDavid's done. Who are you going to put out there again? Like, how many, adept defenders do you have? Can you shut down multiple lines, multiple waves of attack? And we'll see if Winnipeg can do that tonight. I just don't think they will based off of what we've seen from the regular season. I think Edmonton's going to figure that out. Steve, what are you looking at first, NHL?
I don't want to piggyback on all 3 of you, but I'm taking Oilers, Avalanche. I'm parlaying them together at plus 130. You're getting both money lines. And that's the thing. It's just a bounce back for the Oilers. This is a must-win game for them at home. You lose the first one. They outshot them 33-22. The Oilers got to bounce back here. And to Meerkat's point, McDavid, 0 points. He was a -2 ± in the first game. That's not going to happen again. We're talking about the greatest player in the world. And in my opinion, the second greatest player in the world, Nathan McKinnon, he's been doing okay so far for the Colorado Avalanche. 5 goals and 2 assists through 2 games. And the Blues, they kind of switched up their strategy midway through like the second period and gave Colorado, fits for about 20 minutes. And then you just saw that third period. It's just a relentless attack by the Avalanche, night in, night out. I'm taking them money line again. There was nothing I didn't see to not take the Avalanche. They can score goals. It's like an Avalanche when they score goals. When they score one, it just keeps rolling down. And Binghamton played well. That's the worst part. They probably could have scored 5 goals in the first period. He made some ridiculous saves. I'm taking both, parlaying them together at plus 130.
No, I think that's a great play right there. There's tons of parlay fodder today. It's just all about how you're going to maneuver it around. It's like putting together a puzzle. So I'd love to see you're figuring that one out there, Steve. But Meerkat, you got any other plays here in the NHL tonight?
No, I like that. I'm probably take the Avs regulation money line too. You know me. I just love these regulation money lines. I know with playoffs you get a ton of overtime, tighter games, but still, when you got a big juicy favorite that you really just love, use it as parlay fodder like I'm doing with the Avs and the Warriors. I'll take the Avs regulation money line. Winnipeg taking their regulation money line, probably parlay that money line with some stuff too. Who knows? It's like you said, parlay fodder type of night. I should get the hat out. Let's go, boys.
We need the hat right now. We need it. There's so much parlay fodder. But yeah, we got Bellator tonight. We got NHL playoffs. We got the NBA play-in. Ton of MLB games because it's a Friday night. And we got Meerkats parlay fodder hat.
It's so tight. It's so off center. It's perfect.
That was the best part. Meerkat shows me the proof, and I'm like, oh, that's all right. And then he shows me like it on the hat, and he goes, oh yeah, that wasn't centered. And he goes, yeah, no. Didn't even. He's like, I forgot to center.
So tight too. It's not great.
It still works. It gets the job done, folks. You know what it is. That's why you got to follow at Degenerate Zone over on Twitter for some parlay fodder and the dart on a daily basis coming from Meerkat. Cannot thank him enough for that. Giving out free money all the time. Dart ran into a little bit of trouble the past few days, but has still been on a decent hot streak here. Was it 6 of the last 8, Meerkat?
It's 7 of our last 9 right now. Ooh. After that, Westbrook under last night was a miracle. I looked in the third. I was watching the game in the third quarter. They show his stats because he was going off. It was like mid-third quarter. I'm like, he's at 18 points. We're done. We're done. The way they're playing. Check in the fourth quarter. I'm like, 18? Like, they're up by a lot. Like, we got the under.
The under, and Meerkat back on an under today. Folks, you know how much we hate those unders, but if we're on it, that means we must really like it. So make sure you guys stay tuned to at Degenerate Zone for more throughout the year because we're bringing you tons of gambling content. Can't thank you guys enough for bringing more free money to the folks here again. Shout out to Meerkat, some guy named Steve, and Donnie for joining me. Get out there. Doesn't matter if it's a creek. You got to call in your bets, text them in, do whatever you got to do. Go get that free money. Good night. Now. And then a hockey pregame show. Boom.
Outlet Liquor is your place to buy a case. Stock up and save when you shop the lowest prices available every day at Outlet Liquor. You never have to wait for a sale. The more you buy, the more you save. Only at Outlet Liquor.
What's your outlet?
Folks, we're still going here with the Trainwreck Playoff Happy Hour. We got Dwayne in here now joining us to talk about the NHL playoffs here tonight. Great slate. Capitals Bruins getting it kicked off in about 10 minutes. Hurricanes Preds, Jets Oilers, and the Avalanche Blues to cap things off. Dwayne, overtime in all 3 games to start with the Capitals and Bruins. Are we going to get another one here tonight?
I mean, the way things are going, why would you expect anything less, honestly? I didn't expect in game 1 to see the Oilers lose to the Jets. I think that's been the big for me, outside of just this high scoring affair that the Lightning and Panthers have provided us. That's been the biggest surprise for me, is to see the Oilers drop game 1 the way they did. But I also thought that, if you get playoff form Connor Hellebuck, they can very well win that series.
Oh, no, absolutely. And we've seen, the Bruins get some nice lucky goals here, and Brad Marchand, Brad the Rat, has been all over the place, Donnie, for the Bruins, making his presence known. How do you see this one playing out here tonight? Because it seems like the Bruins are just figuring out how to do the extra couple things that's getting them over the hump here in this series.
Yeah, I'll say the Bruins, they're doing what the Bruins do best, and we've saw it before, is they play a defensive game, tight game, and a physical game. Although I'll say Caps have been bringing the physicality as well, but they'll just tire you out. That's their game. Keep it low scoring, clog up shooting lanes, let Rest do his thing, and keep it low. I will say last game was interesting. It was very different from the first two. The refs came out of the gate letting nothing go. I think there were 6 or 7 penalties in the first period. Marchand tried pulling that same thing where he took a stick and was like tapping a guy in the head around the linesman, and they weren't having it. No, they weren't giving coincidental penalties this time. They just sent him there. So, Marchand's going to do his thing. He's going to try to get under the skin any way possible. But I think the refs are going to continue from last game where they're not letting a lot of chippy stuff go. They don't want fights happening after every whistle. So I think that's what we can expect. Flip side for the Caps, I think they're going to come out and, they're getting some guys back from injury, but they're still hurting and depleted.
Oh, yeah.
And I think they really want to end this one in regulation. And it's a must win for them. So I don't think they're going to leave anything out there. Last game, they looked tired by the second OT.
Oh, no, absolutely. And Dwayne, in this one, I think this is a game where the Capitals really cannot afford to lose. They have to get a big win here. Do you think they're going to be able to do it? You saw Ovi going after Samsonov after the game, telling him, "Don't sleep, bitch," in Russian. So how do you think that's going to translate? Do you think the KGB got to Samsonov or
that was funny though, wasn't it? It's so tough because that Bruins team, they play such a grinded out, tough style of hockey that's also very dangerous offensively. Like they can beat you in so many different aspects of the game. And plus you got Tuukka Rask. It may not be in his prime Tuukka Rask, but that's still Tuukka Rask in that.
Oh yeah.
Samsonov, he thought he played very well, since he's came back, which was, obviously just one game, but, Capitals, they got to dig deep here. They need their game time players, their prime time players to be prime time players. Like you need Ovechkin to go out there and dominate. You need, even Chara, like defensively down low in his own end. Like you just need him to play some shutdown defense. You can't let him get beat with speed wide. Backstrom needs to be Backstrom. You need that power play buzzing. Like there's so many things that need to go right to get back into the series for the Capitals. But they have the star power to do it. They do. They have Mantha. Their acquisition at deadline. I'd like to see a big game out of him. Mm-hmm. From all areas of the game, they just really need to be buzzing tonight and put together a good solid 16 minutes. I don't want to see this one go to overtime as a guy who wants to see the Bruins lose for obvious reasons.
Yeah, I'm not ever going to say I don't want free hockey, Dwayne. So I don't know what you're talking about. We all want overtime. Give us as much free hockey as you can give us.
I'm live tweeting it. So
inject
I don't know.
it, yeah.
I'm getting tired. I'm not getting paid overtime.
Like straight up, dude. Like I was live tweeting 2 games yesterday, and like by the way, like how dreadful was that hit on Tavares yesterday? Like that was so hard. That rattled me to watch in slow motion. Like that was tough to watch, and it I've seen teammates in my own hockey career get stretchered off once in a playoff game, just like last night. And not on, again, it was a very incidental hit, wasn't dirty. And just to see one of my buddies get stretchered off, near the end of a playoff game, like it's so difficult, like to get back into a game like that and just get your mind set. And like, but at the same time, like I did not agree with Foligno at all, dropping the gloves with Perry. Like I'm sorry, I don't buy your reasoning after the game. That's my captain out there, blah, blah, blah. You can't sit here and tell me that if Tavares, if you had to ask him what you wanted him to do, how you want to react, that John Tavares, go out there and fight him for something that was a complete freak accident.
Yeah.
By the way, me and him are pretty tight, from our Olympic days with Team Canada. And I'm not even sure, but I do know they both played for London in the OHL, so they might have even been teammates there too. So, to sit there and say that was in any way, shape, or form a dirty hit, it's a lie that he didn't see that replay either. You saw the replay, dude. It was about 20, 25 minutes in between when it happened, when they finally got him off the ice. There was iPads on the bench. There's probably about 5 to 10 minutes between when they got him off the ice and when they actually dropped the puck. You saw what happened, man. You knew that wasn't intentional. Stop it, Foligno. Stop.
Yeah, absolutely. Love that take.
The bench conversation was, if that was a coach thing, if that was a team thing, it's hard for me to believe he just didn't say anything and went out and fought Perry. But
Perry went over to essentially apologized to John, as he was getting taken off.
Yeah, he gave him a tap. It was
he wanted no part of that fight. He wanted nothing to do. He didn't take a swing.
No, absolutely not. And that's the one time in hockey where you're you don't need it every time. I get, wanting to police the game, this and that, but that's not really doing it all that much. But let's hop into more of the games here tonight, Dwayne. We got Hurricanes Predators again here. Hurricanes up 2-0 in this series. I think they've outscored the Predators something like 8-2 so far. Really showing their prowess in this one, just absolutely dominating them. Dwayne, do the Hurricanes have what it takes to make a real Stanley Cup run here?
Yeah, I think they do. They're very well coached. Rod Brind'Amour is probably a top 3 coach in the league right now. We're still not even sure if he's going to be extended because nothing's been signed yet. But I'm not.
That's because he's coming to coach in Buffalo, according to the instigators.
That's what you hope, right? That's what you hope. I don't get started on them. But as much as I love Donnie Meatball and we did in Buffalo, if there's one coach, if there's one coach that becomes available that you would even consider firing your active coach for, it's Rod Brind'Amour. Rod Brind'Amour has turned that franchise around.
Yeah.
He's made them a team that's extremely hard to play against, night in and night out. And they're a very fun team to watch, man. I don't care what people say about the Storm Surge. It's awesome, man. Cool, whatever. Whatever brings positive attention to the game of hockey, to the NHL, I'm all for it, man. I'm absolutely all for it. I hate saying that I enjoy watching the Carolina Hurricanes play hockey, but I enjoy watching hockey. It sucks. No. I'm still not over 2006, so I enjoy watching them play. And if they win tonight, the series is over.
Yeah, I was gonna say they're like the anti-Islanders. They'll smother you, but they smother you with exciting hockey. They're getting scoring chances and outcoursing you 90-40. They're skating circles around you. And that's the hockey you'd love to see. And Nedeljkovic right now,
he's been unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable. And another thing too, you talk about the analytics of the game, the things that you just don't even see on paper, they're doing it all. When you see battles along the boards, you see normally we're, I guess, Buffalo, maybe you don't see everybody always get engaged into certain situations that you can't always see on paper. Those guys, they're buzzing around, they're picking
Their
up.
Feet don't stop moving.
Yeah, maybe it's not this guy retrieving the loose puck along the boards where you might see.
He might be setting up for a better spot defensively, so the guy doesn't have an outlet.
Somebody else went in there, battled along with them, and got that puck loose, and it ended up to be either a goal or a scoring chance. It's just great hockey to watch. And yes, everybody, that is my nipple.
Dwayne.
That is my nipple.
This is supposed to be PG. Now we're going to have to put PG-13 on it.
Lightning hockey, got it right here. It's reversed on the screen, but one of my oldest shirts had to represent a team that's not Buffalo, and I don't really have any other teams memorabilia outside of jerseys, and I'm not putting on a jersey on. So this
got to do what you got to do.
Yeah,
love to see it. But let's hop over here. Jets Oilers. Jets got a big surprise win in Game 1, Dwayne, 4-1. But 2 of those goals empty netters, much closer game. I believe Edmonton outshot Winnipeg by over 10, 11 shots, something like that, and we're not able to get the win. Big game out of Connor Hellebuck. What do you see here in game 2? Because the Oilers really had the Jets' number in the regular season, and it's very, very tough to keep Connor McDavid off the board in back-to-back games. Only happened once all season.
Yeah, just the season Connor McDavid had, man, it was something special to watch. Again, even though the North Division was absolute garbage. But, how about another thing, too? How about the season Mike Smith had? No one expected – people were laughing at the Oilers for bringing back Mike Smith, and he had himself quite the year for the Oilers. But, at the other end, you do have Connor Hellebuck, one of the best goalies, if not the best goalie in the NHL right now. And if he's his Vezina form, his NHL playoff form, in terms of who's the best in the league, it's him, Carey Price, and everybody else. And if you get that goalie in net, I don't care who you are at the other end. I mean, even Connor McDavid, it's going to be very, very, very difficult to beat that team because that's a guy who can steal a series for you, no matter who you're playing at the other end.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, Donnie. I think you're kind of in that same boat, but we're both on the Oilers here tonight because we've seen those numbers with McDavid, averaged over 2.2 points per game against the Jets during the regular season, and I think they were like 7-2 against him overall. So I think this is an opportunity for a big bounce-back game for them.
Yeah, it pains me going against Winnipeg. Anyone that watched the Degenerate Gambling or Don Johnson knew I've been riding the Jets. They were kind of a team, they're young, scrappy. They had that huge win streak, and I was riding them throughout that. We thought they could even take the 1 or 2 seed for a second, and then they just got ice cold at the end of the year.
Lost like 7 in a row.
They're a young team. They went on that run and then went on the losing run all without stats. So they're just a toss-up team. The team you saw, if we see the team we saw 2 nights ago, this might be a 1-goal game and they could squeak it out again. But if it's the team we've seen before where they just get sloppy and their immaturity starts showing, Oilers are going to walk all over them. But like I said, it pains me, but I'm riding the Oilers tonight. I think, the first period, get right into it because they had no pressure, 6 shots the first period last game. They're going to turn it up.
Yeah, I think they're going to be coming out of the gates firing. That's a great point there, Donnie. It's exactly what you expect to see out of a Connor McDavid team. But the last game we have here tonight, Avalanche Blues, 9:30. Still no David Perron due to some sort of COVID policies. And it's not good for them. They're huge underdogs in this one. Vegas has the Avs at -235. Dwayne, is there any chance the Blues, can take, maybe game 3?
I mean, sure. Anything's possible. But that team is just so good. Grubauer's playing great. McKinnon is playing like an MVP right now, a guy who's out to win the Conn Smythe. Landeskog is just going out there and doing Landeskog things. Big Gabriel Landeskog fan here. It's they're just probably one of my next to. This has probably been my favorite series to watch, right next to the Florida Lightning series.
Yeah,
it's just been, just watching Nathan McKinnon specifically. He's just
7 points in 2 games.
Yeah, he's just fun to watch. He's even if you're not an Avalanche fan, which I'm not a diehard Avalanche fan. You tune in to watch him specifically, just as much as you hate Sidney Crosby, you watch the Penguins to watch Sidney Crosby. You watch the Oilers to watch Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. Those are the reasons why you tune into NHL games to watch those players, because they're exciting to watch. And he's buzzing right now, man. He's just, as Johnny Cullen would say, buzzing like Jake Muzzin. He's all over the ice. He's taking the bull by the horns. He's a bull in a glass china shop, whatever stupid, saying you want to use. That's what Nathan McKinnon is right now.
No, absolutely. We all know you're a real big Gabriel Landeskog guy. But yeah, it's going to be very, very tough for the Blues to bounce back in this series. We saw them probably get the best games you're going to get out of Jordan Binnington and still lose the way they have, Donnie. I just don't know if they have the weapons it takes to hang in there with the Colorado Avalanche, who just seem like they never stop hammering you offensively.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think St. Louis thought they were going to come in and like they always do in the playoffs, they just push people around, play physical.
And
What
Shen
happened
got
on the first
beat
shift
up.
of the game last game? O'Reilly got sat down behind the net. They stole the puck and scored on the first shift of the game. So, and what happened in game one? Their captain fights someone for a knee-to-knee. The Avs have made it clear they will play physical. They got the speed. They can do it, and they're not going to be pushed around. So I don't think this St. Louis is stopping them. Like you said, Bennington, you see me always texting the Trainwreck group anytime he scored on, joking, Bennington's rattled, just because he's such an emotional guy that he's kind of fun to troll.
Oh my God. I want to start. I'm just waiting till he has his troll Twitter phase. He's going to be like the Kevin Durant of NHL.
Oh, he's
Twitter.
absolutely got a burner Twitter account.
Multiple.
You absolutely know it, man. He's a loose cannon. And, I actually know a goalie much like him.
All goalies. They're all crazy.
No, not like that crazy. It's, there's a kid that, he mostly plays roller hockey that I know, but he's a loose cannon too, man. And but the thing about that is you like that type of passion, but mentally, no. You take yourself out of hockey. You take yourself out of games when you do that, man. You could be an absolute all-star, but the second you take yourself out of games like that mentally because you're getting frustrated or you're angry or you're pissed off, it affects your overall game, and you might end up letting a meatball or a muffin in the very next shot because your head's just not there and you're not focused.
Perfect point. Because people always talk about momentum and like how it's such a big thing. The factor Dwayne is talking about right now is one of the keys factors that make up what people perceive as momentum. It's what people are doing, mentally in between the plays or as plays are happening. Are you able to compartmentalize the play that just happened so that you're able to focus in to what's going on in that precise moment? Can you think ahead of the other team? Do you know where they're going before they know where they're going? That's the thing you need to be doing within sports, especially as a goaltender. So if you're Binnington and you're letting that rage build up, you're not seeing those cross-ice passes or those little things that the Avalanche do really well to get some great chances, especially in the slot. They've been doing a great job getting in that house there in front of the net, Dwayne, and making things very tough for Binnington. And he tried, his best to stand up to it, but you have, those names behind you on the wall, Hasek, Miller, Watt. Binnington's not either of them.
No, he probably tries to think of himself as like those guys because he went on a heater his rookie year and, won a cup. But the thing is, we've seen goalies do that before. Biggest, one name that sticks out to me is Antti Niemi with the Chicago Blackhawks. Guy was a Zamboni driver over in like Europe or wherever he was from, and then he comes to North America and ends up winning a Stanley Cup with the Blackhawks and never really did anything else after that. Look at from the Stars. Well, I can't remember his name from last season.
Khudobin.
Yes, Khudobin. Again, flash in the pan. Like, I'm not saying he's not a good goaltender, or maybe he is one of those guys, but he came out of nowhere, and then all of a sudden he's playing in the Stanley Cup. Mind you, like analytically, the Dallas Stars were like one of the worst teams analytically in the NHL. Their goal differential was terrible. But you go on a heater you go on a heater in the playoffs, and things can change. And I just don't think Binnington, as good as he looks at times, like I just don't put him in that upper echelon of goaltender. I just don't. If I'm gonna pay a goalie to be my franchise goalie, I'm gonna pay a goalie like $6 million a year. Like they better be like at the level. And I hate the fact that these guys make what they make because they shouldn't, even as good as they are. You better be in the top, like the Hellebuck, the Carey Price. Even like Darcy Kemper, I like him a lot in Arizona. Like I'm a big fan of his. Bobrovsky. I thought Bobrovsky did not play that bad in game one. I don't understand why they went back to back with Dreger.
I was surprised.
Yeah, right. And not like Dreger played out of his mind yesterday to get them that win, but you're paying.
Dreger definitely didn't play out of his mind. He almost lost the game.
Yeah, you're paying a guy $10 million to sit on your bench. Put him out there, man. This is why you paid him. You paid him for moments like this. You paid him to be this guy when the time comes, when it's a must-win situation.
Yeah.
You should be the one that's in net right now. I'm sorry.
It's like paying a pitcher $30 million to pitch in your bullpen in the playoffs.
Agreed.
You don't pay guys to do that. You don't go out and get the best to do that. And that was an interesting decision. And I guess it kind of paid off because they won, but I don't think it was the right decision. I think it might have been a much easier win. Yeah.
That's just the overall depth of that team that helped them win that game. You have three lines that could really go out there and compete. They didn't night out no matter who it is. I've been saying it for a while. I thought Florida won the offseason. They went and got Hornquist.
Oh, yeah.
The proven winner with Pittsburgh. You went out and you are paying Carter Verhaeghe and Anthony Duclair a total of $2.7 million this season. That is bananas. They won the offseason, if you ask me, and they're doing this, mind you, they are doing this without Aaron Ekblad.
Guys, I hate to interrupt, but I'm going to give a live update to all our fans out there. Boston is underway. First shift of the game, Boston gets it too many men on the ice.
Love it. You love this
way to start the game. We got 40 seconds in, and we got
my
what did
Lord.
I say earlier about they had 6 or 7 penalties in the first period last game?
How about last night during the Toronto game? 3 delay game penalties in one game. That's insane. I can't tell you last time I saw 2 in one game, but let alone 3.
It's because they keep trying to do that soft flip that won't reach the icing, and they end up shooting it over the boards. So that's that's been the move the last couple of years. Yeah,
that's what the Sabres were doing when they were peak tank. And they'd get 2 in a row.
Hockey, let's flip.
Hey, we definitely gotta give one up here. So just toss it over the boards. Oh man,
absolutely love that strategy. Glad that they're still doing it because they still finished last in the league, and we have the time to watch all these other teams play some good hockey. And if you're looking for somewhere to watch some great playoff hockey, get over to Amherst Pizza and Ale House. No more Sabre special until the season gets started again, but still, nonetheless, a amazing place to go grab a bite to eat and some drinks. They have a large tap list, plus some of the best pizza and wings in all of Western New York. Those Crown Royal charred barbecue wings are to die for, and they are ranked in the top elite tier for a reason. They're some of the best. Yeah, Donnie had them the other day. So make sure you get over there. But
why are we not there now? That's my question. Why are we doing this from here? Why are we not at Amherst Ale House doing some barbecue?
Maybe we can convince Maniac to open his tab again.
Yeah, I unfortunately did not have an opportunity to take.
How did you not?
He actually owes me dinner. Maniac owes me dinner for some, get the most likes or retweets on this post thing from 6 months ago or whatever it was. I never took him up on that, and I never took him up on the tab. That's what happens when you work 60 hours a week.
Well, we're going to have to get that for you, and I'm pretty sure he owes you Picasso's Pizza as well.
Yes, he does.
Call him out right now in the group chat. Absolutely. We're gonna be hopping off the stream here, and Dwayne's gonna be blowing up the group chat. Can't wait to see all the drama that comes from that. Hopefully he gets his food and free Dwayne's nip. Unfortunately, we might have to go to rated R. I'm hearing poor feedback here from the broadcasting committee here. It's not looking very good for us, Dwayne. Hopefully we don't catch any fines, but it is what it is. Make sure you guys continue to tune in. We'll be back throughout the week next week between 6 and 7 with the Trainwreck Playoff Happy Hour, breaking down the best bets, then the NHL and NBA playoffs before the games get started. And we're going to be back for a DDZ again tomorrow morning, so make sure you guys stay tuned for that. Shout out to everyone for tuning in. Make sure you get over to Outlet Liquor, the place to buy a case. The more you buy, the more you save. And Amherst Pizza and Ale House, the best place to eat in Western New York, especially if you're in the North Towns, and go check out a game. Shout out Donnie and Dwayne for joining me Good
Cheers.
night. Now.